Good evening, everyone. My name is Hiroshi Nishinaga, and I'm in charge of business development in Japan. Today, I would like to present you a short outline of the current situation of the mobile market in Japan. This is today's overview, and there are three things I'd like to cover today. First, I will talk about characteristics of Japanese people, Japanese companies, and Japanese market. And then I will explain the importance of channeling and introduce some dependable partners in Japan. Finally, I will describe the matters you should pay attention to when you're advancing to Japanese market. And as a conclusion, I would like to give you an advice and some homeworks. So let's get started. First of all, let me introduce myself shortly. I was born in Japan and raised in Japan. After graduating my university, I started working at the sales department of one of the biggest PC peripheral manufacturers in Japan. Now I'm working for DICO as a business development, and the reason why I started working gaming industry in Japan is that I can give a challenge in the front line of lively growing market. Next, I will introduce DICO. We started as a localization company. At first, development section has been added after a few years later from our establishment. Our headquarters is in Tokyo, and we have branches in Germany and Vietnam. In addition, we have an associated company, EAP, in Tokyo. In the whole group, we do publishing, marketing, developing social or console games, doing live operation, culturalization, and localization. DICO is composed of multicultural staffs from all over the world, which can be one of our strengths of our company. That is, we have a various point of view from the world. And these are some of our partners. And these are our works in the past. Okay, so much for the introduction. Let's get right into the main subject. First of all, I will mention some stereotypes of Japanese to think of Japanese market. According to web research, foreigners tend to have these stereotypes on Japanese. What is your opinion? Agree or disagree? Unfortunately, these stereotypes are not correct. You cannot make these kind of sweeping generalization is actual Japanese. Let me focus on some characteristics of Japanese with some proverbs in Japan. Japanese have the proverb, tenseki koke musazu. In Japanese understanding, the proverb says that we need to work on a task concentrating only on on it. And the next proverb means that the same meaning of let sleeping dogs lie. We Japanese tend to refrain from taking a risk. If you want to build a good relationship in Japan, you need to work hard and being humble. So in this slide, what I want to say is that you need to understand the Japanese characteristic that is we tend to refrain from taking our risks with something new, and they are conservative. Let's take a look at a couple of graphs to know roughly about Japanese market. As a graph on the left shows Japanese mobile or browser game market is growing quarter by quarter. And on the right side of the graph on the right side shows the reason why Japanese play mobile or browser games. And it says that Japanese play mobile games to kill their time. As you know, Japanese work longer than people from other countries. So they tend to run out of pastimes. Considering this fact, developers now trying to limit the playtime of their mobile game within 3 to 5 minutes. And other reasons mentioned that Japanese want to communicate with others by social games, and they want to play with their favorite characters in the game. So, which means that implementing SNS functions and using popular IP will make your game familiar with Japanese. In this slide, I would like to explain the importance of channeling. There are various platforms in Japan for mobile or browser games. I think you should know some of them because they provide services in overseas. Each platform has its strengths, but how can you know that from your country? I think it might be almost impossible to understand which platform is most appropriate for your game, because a lot of platforms pop up and disappear every day. So as a result, the power relationship between them changes every day. So you need to find a partner specialized in publishing your contents at several of Japanese platforms. I hereby list up several reliable partners for publishing in Japan. They are sure to find the best platform for your game. If you're interested in them, I can introduce them to you. From now on, I'm going to share a few tips about development of mobile games for Japanese market. I listed up some usual problems for overseas companies. Firstly, localization barriers can be given as one of the problems. There's a favorite taste of graphics for Japanese. Even if the concept of your game is great, you might not be able to attract attract Japanese with your original graphics. And the Japanese consists of 3 types of character, that is hiragana, katakana, kanji Chinese character. And we write sentences vertically sometimes. So if you want to focus on Japan as one of your target markets, you need to pay attention to make your game localized friendly. In detail, you need to limit the number of files relating to text as much as possible. And you also should limit numbers of character, and you need to set line limitation. And server design could be one of the problems as well. And as one of the biggest issues in the project with Japanese company, disclosure of game code can be given. They will ask you to disclose your game code for the evaluation. It's because their decision making is heavily based on the data. So what should you do to build a good relationship with Japanese? At first meeting, you shouldn't wish for a good result. It heavily depends on several conditions like budget, balance with other projects, and so on. And the structure of the company changes rapidly, so you need to follow up regularly until the time for launching a project comes. For the first step of embarking in Japan, I recommend you to visit Tokyo Game Show on September. TGS can be a great opportunity for you guys to explore future cooperation possibilities with Japanese companies. Finally, here are your hallmarks for your future success in Japan. First of all, you need to understand your game itself, the concept, target, and how to monetize. Just itemize them shortly. You don't need to clarify them in detail. After understanding your game, try to find the right publishing partner with information such as game model, KPI, and benchmarks, and positioning matrix, and so on. There are various companies in Japan, so you can find the best company for your product. And you need to collect the information with a channel partner or visiting events such as Tokyo Game Show. It's almost important for you to know your rivals. Some games have firmly established their positions, so you may want to avoid the same category unless your game has completely different user experience or systems. Okay. Thank you for your listening, and if you have any questions, please let me know by email or talk to me directly after this presentation. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Hiroshi.